Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you would be fine. This is Miss Sidra Kashif representing MSK Linguistics Center from Pakistan, Karachi, being a proprietor, moderator, plus EFL and IELTS instructor. It's my honor to have a very special guest from Serbia. Her name is Neda Želeva. She is brand and clarity coach. Today we are going to discuss about really relevant and hot trending topic, women empowerment. How can women build her brand and add true value to self-esteem? So this topic is really fruitful for every of the woman in this era. Let's get started. Hello, dear Nada. Warm welcome to you.
Hi, Sidra. Thank you very much first for recognizing my work and inviting me to join this, as you said, fruitful conversation. As you mentioned, I'm a brand and clarity coach. That means that I help women, whether they want to start their online business, start their brand, or to scale on any different level. And I have been doing this efficiently for the last 5 years in online market. And my goal is really together with you today for us to give women different perspective, to empower them and to show them how actually it's possible, even everything for them.
That's great, really interesting, and we would like to hear about your story as well. That how did you initiate? When I got to know about you, that you were a housewife and you had a daughter, then you began your business. It's really interesting. So I'm really curious about hearing it all. If you just elaborate it to our audience as well.
Sure. This is a story that I always start this story that actually began 10 years ago. I was working, actually, I was finishing my career on Carnival Cruise Line. I had an onboard career. I was working as a crew member there. And it happened actually when I finished my career there and when I had my daughter. She's 10 and a half years old now. And once I actually, she was maybe 2 months old, when I was feeling bored in the evenings, right? I was very, very lucky and blessed because she started sleeping very early through the night. So as somebody who always liked to work and to make my own money and actually be financially independent, I decided to explore online world to see what I can actually do. And some of my friends introduced me to a platform. Now it's called Upwork. It's a platform for freelancers. I signed up, I registered, and I was actually, I would say that I was at the right time, at the right place, where actually 2 days after I submitted the application, I got a really interesting job as a social media manager for one of the US companies.
That's
and
great.
Basically everything started from there. I started learning about social media, about Facebook, about digital marketing. I fell in love with online sales. I started learning a lot about people, how people are thinking. And from there, actually involved, I had clients from the all parts of the world, from US to Australia, from China to South Africa. And this actually evolved. After 5 years of working as a freelancer, I started up my own company because I was actually finding a way how I can stay at home with my daughter because I didn't want to work for anybody else. And I knew that nobody would hire me because I had a very specific way of life. As I mentioned to you, my husband is still working on board, so we do travel a lot. And I change countries every 3 to 4 months. So that means I'm changing the place from where I'm working. And I was looking for a solution for myself. And then I clearly remember that moment when I told myself, actually, I was having this conversation one-on-one, and I asked myself, okay, who is going to hire you and to give you that type of freedom and that type of flexibility that you can change countries and pick the time when you work? And I realized that nobody's going to do it except that I'm going to hire myself. And that's how I started the freelance career. And after that, it evolved through the company. After I think 3 or 4 years, actually, when pandemic started, I launched a project for Balkan market, actually from Serbia and the surrounding countries. I was actually teaching and educating people how to start their online business. So basically, everything that I've learned through my experience from social media, social selling, online sales, I implemented in those educations. And as I progressed in that journey, I was also educating myself, so I can be a better version for the people who are coming on my educations. In the meantime, I became NLP trainer and as well as coach. And basically, from this one idea is that I want to stay at home. I want to be with my daughter. I want to show her what it means to build a life that you really want. That's where everything started. And I have to say to all the women that are listening today, I did not have any support. I did not have any understanding from either from my family or from my friends, because this was all very new to them, and nobody understood what it means to work online. Sometimes they even asked me, they were telling me that I work for unicorn money, right? Because they couldn't see this money, but they didn't. That not having support did not stop me from pursuing everything that I built today, because I had one very clear goal, and that was I want to be next to my daughter when she's growing up, because I've seen how other parents are going actually with the 9 to 5 job. It's never 9 to 5. It's always long working hours. They cannot afford babysitters, or somebody who can afford babysitters. They are not spending time with their kids. And my main goal is, and still is to this day, is that I'm building a business around my life, and I'm not fitting my life into the business. It is, somebody's going to say it's impossible. I'm just going to say it's longer. It's going to take longer, but it's worth every minute of it, because I get to choose with who I'm working, how much I'm working. When my kid is like, when my daughter is sick, and kids always get sick, right? I don't have to beg anybody to give me time off. I can control my budget. I understand how much I can actually. Sorry.
Appreciated, remarkable.
Yes, and it took a lot of strength and a lot of courage, uh, but I did it day by day and step by step, because there's no quick solution. It does not happen overnight. It's already 10 years that it's like 10 years past like that, and with every year, I'm growing my business more in a way that it's really supporting my life. As even when I was telling you this in the backstage, today I'm in Bulgaria. Yesterday I was in Serbia. On Monday I'm going to be back in Serbia as well. And this is something actually that this is my main goal, is that I can have freedom to move wherever I want, to work as much as I can, because when you're working for somebody else, it's like overtimes, you get exhausted, and all these things that traditional work brings. And I'm still, I cannot say I succeeded fully, right? Because on every level there's some new obstacle, but I can safely say that after these 10 years, I really have found a way how to help other women to achieve the same thing, because it is possible for everybody, regardless of where they are living, of how much they are earning, of how much resources they have, because the biggest resources, I mean, resources in plural, is within us. And whatever we want to start, we need to understand that we are our biggest asset. Once I realized that, everything shifted.
Fantastic. I am really amazed after hearing it all, and I hope that our audience would also be surprised and a little motivated that we can do by just making opportunities. Opportunities wait for us. It is us that we have to avail it somehow. As you know that there are number of women they survive because of their tradition, ritual, or culture, you can say. They are restricted sometimes because of their in-laws or their husbands. They don't allow them to do something, but most of the times they really need, as you know, inflation is going on everywhere. It is not the husband to just fulfill each and everything. When a woman also has to do something, and on the other hand, a woman has to be independent. You know that especially when she is married to a person, then there is a difference of three words, or the person says that I accept her, and she says that yeah, I accept him. But after sometimes there are disagreements or disputes or some things, then where would the woman, a woman exist? Where would she go if she's not independent? If she doesn't have any skills or awareness, how would she survive? So before the time comes, I think that every woman has to be established. She has to learn something, and she has to just avail the opportunities as well. It's really appreciated if they do their personal responsibilities, if they do each and everything. But a part of it, they have to make the time for themselves as well. I always appreciate women around me. So what would you like to say about these all?
You actually sparked a really great question that opens a lot of more different questions, especially because we come from such a different cultures, and there are so many different cultures in the world where women, doesn't matter if they come from east, from west, or they're from Europe, from Africa. Like, women is so for me, women are the most powerful creatures ever made by universe. I'm just going to call it like that, because we have the stamina to endure childbirth. We have stamina to endure so many different obstacles and to come out stronger and better after each obstacle. What Because I'm mainly working with women, all my educations and programs are towards empowering women in any kind of cultural environments. It doesn't necessarily mean that she needs to start her online business immediately. It just means waking up the resources that we have within. And you said something very, very important, and that is developing skills. Regardless of where we live, regardless if we are married or not, if we belong to different culture, different religion, it's not up to me to judge. I'm just saying that we are all very different, but as human beings, we are all the same, right? We are all the same, and we all of us have the same capabilities of doing something great with our life. That means even standing up for themselves in different situations. That doesn't mean to be rude. It just means to have this strength within to um, to stand her ground in whichever situation it is. Because I'm going to talk about business now a little bit, and online and social media and everything, because we are here today because we are in the 21st century. We have the greatest gift of internet and social media. First of all, if there was no internet or LinkedIn, we will never have this conversation. We would never know about each other. We live in a completely different part of the world, and yet today we are talking about very important topics. And I think that majority of women, they think that they have to make some drastic changes, radical changes in their life. But basically, these are what the experience showed me, is that there are really, really small steps within them in terms of setting up inner boundaries. What's right for me and what's not. What I want to choose. What is mine. What is theirs. Especially women who are married. I'm married for 10, 12 years, and I'm in a very different marriage than my friends, because my husband is on board, and most of the time we are apart, and we do fight and we get along, and we do fight and we get along. Marriage is work. Marriage but it's a partnership. It's what we willingly choose to be part of. And what worries me is that people tend to go into marriage because they want to solve some problems which they haven't solved within themselves before. if you know what I mean. And then when they are married, then all those problems are lifted, and then they blame their husbands or wives. But the thing is, all of us, we need to work on us to
Yeah.
own our personal responsibility towards our own lives, our own actions, decisions, behavior, before we decide to point fingers at somebody else. This applies to partnership, this applies to business, to branding, to marketing, because once you have LinkedIn profile, let's say, and you have a skill, that skill can be anything. It can be talking, it could
Yeah.
be communicating, it can be writing, it can be design, anything. You have, I mean, everybody has the possibility of monetizing that skill. It doesn't take much, really doesn't take much. But what the biggest problem is because women are mainly and mostly waiting for permission from their environment, inner environment or the external environment, is to have better lives.
Yeah,
And
she is
the
puzzled most of the times. She
and
has to
and
just find the interest and also work on it and just think about it. If I am interested in it, shall I do this? Can I do this or not? What are the possibilities? If there are no possibilities, she has to make possibilities along with her domestic works or responsibilities. She can
uh,
manage a number of things at a time. I think that woman is a multitasker. She can do everything,
not only
multiple things at the
not
time.
only not only multitasking, but also multi potentials. Like we can thrive in several different segments of our lives better than
Hmm.
men. And I believe that's what we are built for. But women tend to just fit into one box. Let's say they are wives, but who says they cannot? They can be wives, they can be sisters, they can be mothers, they can be friends, they can be entrepreneurs, they can be designers. It doesn't have to end with a dot. You just put a comma next to it, and they can actually become whatever they want. You remember that when I was telling you my story, that I didn't have any support. I really didn't have, because not because my family doesn't love me, because they did not understand what I'm doing. After
Hmm.
10 years, they now have a glimpse of what I'm actually working on. And because didn't have any
Truth.
support.
It happens.
Sorry.
It happens. It's bitter truth.
But that's how it is. And instead of backing down and feeling sorry for myself, because they didn't, I actually I felt sorry because they didn't support me. But what I can do, they don't
Hmm.
understand. I
Yeah.
decided that I'm gonna go online and create a community of people who think alike, who wants the same things like me, who have same goals like me. And that's how I started my first Facebook community, right? And
Hmm.
along those people, I have colleagues, I have partners. One of the you said I'm a co-founder of Brand Me Hub. The other co-founder is Liliana Milanovic. We met through my community. We met online, and we, even though we live in the same neighborhood, we actually met in one of my Facebook groups, and that's how we started interacting. That's how we now became partners in one of the biggest projects that I'm working on. So it's really just keeping that flame of desire that we have within ourselves about
Hmm.
anything that we want to do. If a woman wants to start, doesn't necessarily has to be online. It can be like some small shop. If she is skilled with her fingers, I'm not. I have skill here, and that's how I'm creating things. But if
Hmm.
somebody has skills in making some craft, in cooking, in some whatever, they
Yeah.
can be monetized.
Hmm.
It can actually happen in small bit size, in small
Hmm.
steps, step by step, day by day, and just to have faith and to create support that she
Yeah.
needs. And it's
Hmm.
difficult. I'm going to tell you that, Sidra. It's difficult because it's easier. It's really easier to give up when you don't have
Yeah.
support, and when you say, okay, I did my best and nobody supported me, and that's why I'm giving up. That's the easy way. The hard way is to do it despite of not having support, despite
Hmm.
of being scared, despite of uncertainty, only with this burning desire that we have within ourselves, that we want to create better and quality life, not only for us, but for our families as well. Because I know that when my daughter sees what I'm doing, that what she sees, the boundaries that I'm pushing, how much I'm learning, how much I'm evolving, I'm setting an example for her.
She would
Regardless.
follow the same.
Exactly, and not the same. I really believe, and I'm truly hoping that she's gonna be even better than me. But she cannot become that if I don't pave the road to her, just to show her what can be possible. And it's always, I always find um, helpful for myself when I lose faith in myself. I always
Hmm.
remember why I'm doing it. I'm doing that not because of me, but also because of her. And
Hmm.
somehow it always brings me back. I take a step back, I recharge, and then I charge again in the fun. It takes time, it takes work, but it's worth every second of it, because once we have our own independence, once we have our freedom to
Hmm.
choose what we're gonna do, how much we're gonna do it, how much we're gonna charge for it, on what we're gonna spend, it
Hmm.
actually it opens completely different dimensions within us that we can
Hmm.
share then with the rest of the world. Otherwise, it's always sitting on a bench and wondering, oh, what if? And we are not living in a what if world. We are living in a world where we are taking charge and we are taking control of what it is that truly belongs to us in this world, in this life.
Hmm. I agree with all of these points which you have exaggerated. These all are the main concerns. The main thing is, first of all, she has to just find the interest, then she has to question her that she can do or not. After that, making opportunities, and when she initiates, so it's okay, she would give up again and again, and I think it's a part of life to do something. She doesn't have to give up, and she has to improve herself by doing it again and again with persistency. She has to keep continue. It's okay if she doesn't think about herself, but sometimes she has to just think about her family, that why did she initiate, for which purpose did she begin. This thing really this thing would really recharge her for this purpose. And I believe that it doesn't matter if she doesn't have any skills or qualifications. For that purpose, she has to join the communities, and she has to polish herself a little, as you told me that you joined the community with the same interest or passion. So it is a very remarkable way. She has to just bound herself with the same interest people to do collaboration with them, and she has to restrict herself especially from the negative people who are not agree with her points, because she has goals, she has to achieve some things. For that purpose, she has to go with the same enthusiasm, with the mutual understanding people. I think so.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You said it perfectly, because especially we all have negative people in our lives, and that's just how life is. And some of those people might be members of our family. Some of those people might be our closest friends. But we also need to understand that they are not negative because they don't like us. They are negative because they see us changing, and that scares them. That's the
Hmm.
and instead of taking this as an obstacle, like, yeah, people are going to be negative, period. But this has nothing to do with us, it has everything to do with them. Because when we progress, when we move forward, we just remind them of where they are, and of their of their feeling when they are stuck, and with their shortcomings. And this is something that it really it differs from culture to culture, honestly, I have to say. And I have to be responsible of what I'm saying, because I know that you have a worldwide audience. It doesn't happen overnight for somebody. What most important thing is that every woman in this world need to understand is that they have every resources they need in order to succeed, whatever the goal is. They need a skill in order to get to those goals. You said it perfectly. Whatever that skill is, we are becoming master of the skill when we practice the skill. Practicing means either doing it by ourselves or finding a mentor or a teacher that we're going to learn that skill from somebody else, and then putting that skill in practice, whatever the skill is. In my experience, I work mostly with coaches, consultants, and the women who are working with other people through their skills of communication and coaching and consulting. Um, we also have different people who come from, they are like photographers, like different skill, different kind of craft. I'm going to call it like that. But every craft, as you said, we need to practice it. We need to put it in practice. We need to implement. We need to fail in order to grow. And that's where the community support comes, because nobody succeeds alone. Nobody succeeds from the first try. Whenever we do something for the first time, that's it. That's the first time. That's the goal of doing something, is just to do it for the first time. Everything after that, it's not first, second, third, fourth, and then the skill is actually becoming to grow. Because once they start mastering the skill, that's when they're gonna start having evidence of the proof of their results. Once they have results, they're gonna have more self-esteem. The more self-esteem they have, the more motivation they're going to have. Because the biggest, what I've learned working with hundreds of women, is that they expect motivations to come from the outside world, but it needs to come within us. And we cannot be motivated if we don't have self-esteem. But we have self-esteem only if we are making results, right? I have a lot of women who come and say, "Oh, I have problem performing in front of the camera. Like I'm scared to create a video." That's my first time. My first question is, "How many videos have you done so far?" She said 0. Of course, you don't have self-confidence because you haven't done it. Come back to me when you do 100, because when you do a 10, when you do 50, you're gonna develop that skill. So the motivation equals the skill that we have and the results that we have from that skill. Even let's say we try to do something new and we go to practice, we don't perform well, we don't step down, we do it again. That's how we build our self-esteem. The more self-esteem they have, the faster they're gonna grow. And as you can say, as you see, it's always in us, within us. And that's for me, as from my perspective, the biggest problem of today's world is, I'm trying to find the best word in English, is lacking of not self-control.
I think that reliance is not the key, but resilience is. We don't have
Yes,
to depend on someone that he or she would help us, or he would or she
yes.
would motivate us. That is the very main point which you exaggerated. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, because it's always good to have external support and external attaboy, like, "Oh, you did a great job, just continue." That's something that it depends how we actually like to be being motivated. But at the end of the day, everybody, all of us, we are alone in our heads, right? Nobody is living there besides us, and we are the only one. And taking personal responsibility, that's the word that I was looking for. Taking, like caps lock, personal responsibility for our own lives, for our own actions, for our own behaviors and mistakes and failure, as well as successes. Because once we start pointing outwards and not looking for the answers and reasons within us, we are not we are not in control of our own lives. And that's what the biggest problem is, because it's always easier to sit on the side and to come up with excuses and explanations of why something didn't succeed, because I don't know, this person didn't help me, I didn't have enough support, I didn't have enough money. Sidra, I started my business with 0 money. like no investment whatsoever, like nothing. I had zero. I started with a zero, and from nothing, I created something. So it's, even though it's not that I didn't have any money, like I didn't have what to eat. I just didn't have any money to start with. And I said, okay, if I don't have money, I have time. And that's the biggest something that they need to understand.
That's the
If you
precious thing. If you have time, it doesn't matter that you don't have money. And you
exactly.
know, for 2 to 3 years, women or it doesn't matter if she is woman or male. It takes 2 to 3 years to start earning money. That is the thing. So they just have to keep on with the same enthusiasm.
I'm going to tell you, it takes them even less than them to start making money, because if they have time to invest in developing their skill, and then they invest time to go on any social media, let's say LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, depend what they like to use. And when they know exactly what they are offering, who they are offering to, like what is their target audience, and when they are consistent 30, 60 days, after 2 or 3 months, they can start earning without
Hmm.
investing $0 or whatever the currency of their country is, only
Hmm.
investing their time and their knowledge and being consistent. And what you I have to go back to what you said, developing resilience. Because
Hmm.
on social media, on online scene, there are different people, they have different opinions, they are saying different things, and that's where actually we are growing as online entrepreneurs, is that when we are thriving regardless of
Hmm.
what's happening online. But it doesn't take like it. As I said, I started my business with $0. Zero. I just
Fantastic.
said I just had this crazy idea that I don't want to work for anybody else except for
Hmm.
myself. And I can always suggest that there are so many platforms for freelancers. Mine was Upwork. I believe that worldwide there are so many different that actually people can go there, register, and start earning money. And from there, just when you make your first dollars, when you make your first fee as a freelancer, or first fee with the clients, everything
Hmm.
shifts. Really, everything shifts, because then you have a proof that this is something that you have to pursue. And
Hmm.
it doesn't take so much time to get to that first client than it was
Hmm.
5 or 10 years ago, because we have internet, we have social media, we have freelance platforms, we have communities, right? I'm going to go back to, like, we met on LinkedIn. This is the first time that we're actually talking, but we
Hmm.
connected, we chatted, we um, corresponded over email, and that's how we are today. That wouldn't be possible 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I just want
I,
to get that perspective, because we are living in a golden age of when everybody can work from anywhere and make money, and as much as money as they need, that to have a fruitful life, to for women to be independent and still
hmm.
be and mothers and wives and daughters and whatever they want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with these all points because success is not achieved by overnight. We have to struggle a lot.
I wouldn't call it struggle. When you say, when this is instant, like play of words, like with the linguistic. When you say somebody they have to struggle, immediately they're not gonna do it. I like to call it, I'm gonna prioritize differently, right?
Hmm.
I know that I'm not sacrificing time with my daughter. I'm prioritizing my work, and tomorrow
Hmm.
I'm going to prioritize her. And it's not about, I don't believe in this life and work balance. I just believe in priorities without
Hmm.
guilt. Because if we prioritize work and I'm feeling guilty about it, I'm going to work from that guilty energy, right? I'm going to be
Hmm.
thinking about, okay, I'm working now, I'm not spending time with my daughter. When I'm spending time with my daughter, I'm spending time with her, and then I feel guilty because I'm not working. This is something that we have to be within in agreement with ourselves, that there is
Hmm.
no balance there, or there's only priorities comparing to the goals that we want to achieve. So when I'm
Hmm.
working, I'm 100 present. When I'm with my daughter, I switch off my phone, I switch off my laptop. I'm not working, I'm 100% with her. 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. without the guilt, because I'm not working. And I have to tell you, I did not achieve this overnight. I had to discipline myself not to think, not to feel guilty about anything, because we women like to feel guilty. We like to actually put a lot of pressure on ourselves without anybody else putting pressure on us. And this is something, as a women, that's it's in our DNA. And this is something that we have, all of us, we have to work on,
Yeah.
our self-respect, self-love, and prioritizing things that we love. Because if I'm not happy, I'm
Mm.
not going to be a happy mother, right? But if I'm happy as a person, I'm going to spread that happiness through every aspect of my life. And for
Mm.
that, Sidra, we really need to work on that, either with
I
some
couldn't
coach.
agree more.
Sorry.
I couldn't agree more with these all of the points which you elaborated.
And sometimes it's scary, right? Sometimes it's scary because we don't know if we're gonna succeed. But I always like to try, then never to try anything at all.
Mm.
Sometimes I fail, sometimes I succeed. But I don't see failures as like something that keeps me down. I just see them as opportunity to what I can learn from that action, what I can learn from that activity that did not bring me results, and I just move on. And this is something that also women need to understand, that not all of us are built to have our own businesses. This is something I really want to emphasize, because to be an entrepreneur and to have an online business, to have like a legitimate business, you need to pay taxes, you need to have like a steady income. For somebody, I think it's perfectly okay just to work, to have a side income, right? Just to have something, to have this amount of money that they can buy something for themselves, something that they just want to, like, or just some form of a self appreciation. And
Mm.
this is one of the biggest, I'm going to say, misconceptions that currently is happening on social media, because everybody's successful, everybody's super rich, everybody's super entrepreneurs, when basically, and all that narrative that goes, especially on LinkedIn, it
Mm.
actually just distracts the women, especially women, of ever trying. What I want to
Mm.
tell all of them is that it's okay to do everything on their own time, in their own rhythm, in their own way, as long as that way is true to themselves. If it's gonna somebody's gonna take a half of year, for somebody's gonna take a full year, for somebody's gonna take 5 years, as long as it
Yeah.
takes, as long as it's aligned with who they are and what they want to achieve.
Yeah, I agree with that. According to my point of view, I would like to say that, as I previously mentioned, that first of all, their interest matters, than their initiation, that how they begin, how to start now, their ideas and their skills development to join communities. After that, if they think that they are polished or groomed, then they have to start a business or any of the work. Or if they can afford, then I think that from $100 they have to start a cheaper business. If they can't buy anything, like even they don't have $100, they have zero value, so they have to start giving the services like drop shipping, you can say. Or like a number of ladies are really good at dealings, or providing the services. It could be cooking, it could be any art, like resin art, candle making art, it could be jewelry making or stitching, or
Yes.
anything like that. They have to initiate somehow from their home. They could start. Would you like to just let us know the platforms that where should they initiate? Which platform should be used for that purpose?
Okay, it's a great question. It really depends on what they want to offer. You mentioned, for example, some crafts like stitching, cooking, all these things. Which is like, I think that Instagram and TikTok are great for that, because it's a good, they're good platform for video content. But as well, there are a couple of platforms. My mind just went blank. There are platforms that are specifically made for the handmade products. I'm gonna not Shopify. Oh my God, my mind might just block. When I remember it, I'm gonna send it to you so you can leave it in the comments. But Shopify is also a great way to start. They can do a drop shipping business, right? But also, I wanted to say that for providing services such as appointment setters, virtual assistants, all type of services that can support ongoing businesses, LinkedIn is a great platform to start, like amazing platform to start. Facebook as well. I would also recommend Upwork. That's one of the biggest platforms for freelancers today, where they can mainly find service-based jobs. But I'm still trying to remember this website for the crafts. Like, when your mind go blank, it just goes blank. I'll go back to it when I remember.
There are
But
number of first one is Shopify, AliExpress, Alibaba, Amazon. Multiple of the platforms are there, but you are talking about specifically for the handmade products.
yes,
There would be experts to
specifically
learn.
for that, because they put the platform, they put their products on the platform, and the end users and buyers are buying from the platform. So this actually is much easier than to have their own website. It's similar like Shopify, but for the products, especially for the handcraft products. But for me, if let's say a woman is not skilled with her hands, like myself, like I cannot even stitch a button, for example. I'm more leaning. That's why I'm working as a trainer, as a coach. There's so many areas for as a virtual assistant, what they can offer to other entrepreneurs, to have great working hours, appointment setters, to organize their time. Like, I'm sure that any woman who is married and have kids and is handling the monthly budget of the home, they can actually take this skill and apply it into business and help somebody else organize their finances. So it's always finding what we are good at in real life and how we can actually translate that what we are good, that skill, how I can translate that into an offer. If they're good at organizing events, family events, dinners,
Yeah, I was just
birthdays,
about to say that. What would you like to say about event planning? It's
all the
a
best, all the
trending
best.
thing.
Yes, because more and more, especially I've seen this in our country, in our region. After the
Hmm.
pandemic, we had like this big peak. People were going online, but now most of them are going back offline, and more events are coming. So I don't have this skill for organizing events, and I'm like, I know that I suck at it, and I'm not even trying to do it. But I have some
Hmm.
friends, they are really amazing. They think 10 steps ahead, and I keep nagging them. So you have amazing skill. You can monetize that skill only by offering to other companies, other people who are like me, who doesn't know to do it. But it's always coming back to that, Sidra, to understand what we are good at in the real life, and
Hmm.
translating that into the offer. And once we have this offer, then to see what is the best platform where I can actually push that offer to the future clients. Especially now, because we have, even now as we speak, we are doing work that did not exist 15 years ago, right?
Yeah, I
Virtual
agree.
assistants, like podcasts, this what exchanging our thoughts, ideas, knowledge, this existed only in the small closed circles within some schools, within some universities. But we're having all these softwares, tools, platforms, social media, everything is literally within our reach. It really comes like what we are using in our programs. We are using a lot of ChatGPT, especially
Hmm.
because this can help people, even if you are like a novice in ChatGPT, like if you don't know how to use it. People can just
We
go
are
in and
we are overwhelmed, but we don't have to be overwhelmed. We just have to choose one which is
yes,
best for us.
exactly. That's what I wanted to say, because with technology and now with the ChatGPT, like we have so many different options, so many possibilities, and My way is just bringing the women to that one thing, one offer, one platform, one target audience, one plan of activity. Pick a LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Just stick to it next 30, 60, and 90 days and see what's out there. Because that's where the proof is going to come, what we were talking about. That's where they're going to start inquiries about the offer, sending messages, doing some sort of engagement, and then then their motivation is going to grow because they're going to have proof that they're on a good way. So it's when there's a mess, my recipe is always step back, take a deep breath, and go to that one thing that makes you exquisite, that makes you master of the universe of that one skill, because we can never fail at that. And the biggest problem is because most of the women, they think that this is something interesting. What their superpower is usually something they take for granted because it's so easy for them to do it. On the other hand, I told you, I don't know how to stitch. I don't know how to organize events. For me, women who do that, they are like the superwomen of this world because I don't know how to do that. And I'm willing to pay for that. Once they understand that their superpower is something that is so easy for them that they can do it with their eyes closed, that's their biggest power. That's actually
It
what
could be
they can
painting, it
monetize.
could be sketching or decoration
Exactly.
items or something. They have to
Exactly.
initiate somehow. And you know that it's not about offering. It's all about showcasing in very well way that you should know that which response would be given to you. For that purpose, you have to be very groomed for that purpose to showcase your business or services. You have to do it in very well mannered, because most of the peoples we find they are negative or they think negative whenever most of the times there are entrepreneurs, they just start advertising their businesses or services, then most of the times negative response is given to them rather than appreciating them, rather than accepting the services. So we have to just get to know about the professionalism as well. It is the main point to be formal, not informal.
I agree, but I also have to say it really depends on what they're offering and what's the offer for everything. What you say stands for the service, absolutely. I
Hmm.
think also that depends on the offer. Sometimes being informal can help, and
Hmm.
sometimes being informal can actually cost you the job. But it really, what I've learned is that the best way is just to know your audience, know their
Hmm.
pain points, and
Yeah.
create content that brings value before you offer something, and create and really trustworthy relationship with the online audience, and it's always going to be rewarded back. So yeah, you're
Hmm.
absolutely right. People who are rude, who are informal, who are doing things their own way, and yet I know so many professionals, so many people who are actually well behaved, well mannered. Everything that you said, it really depends on the person. It really depends what they want to achieve. Being rude
Hmm.
never got nobody far, right? It's and it's always a way how to we have to work on ourselves, and we have to grow in order for our businesses and our lives to grow. But they for any women listening right now, just take the smallest step. Like the smallest step can even be, okay, I'm going to take this piece of paper today and I'm going to write what I'm good at. Doesn't even know how much does it cost. I'm going to find online how I can actually monetize this online. Find Facebook group. Go find us on LinkedIn. We can have a chat as well. Just don't stop and be alone with that thought, because that's what
Hmm.
kills most of the dreams. Just take even the smallest action towards your idea. That's even the biggest step that they can actually take. And everything that after that actually starts, I'm going to say, open by itself, because once they have these motivations, once they know the direction, once they know the offer, then they can find social media, then they can create content, then they can do all those things that we have to do in order to sell something. But as I said at the beginning, today anybody can sell anything to anybody around the world. Why not women? There's opportunity literally for everybody.
And I think patience is needed for everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely, especially in today's world when everything is so fast. People, the future clients and audience, they're much more educated than it was like 5 years ago. We need to have
Hmm.
patience for ourselves, for the audience, for the offer, and for the entire process, because nothing, literally nothing happens overnight except a headache.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
Okay,
as a,
then
as
I would like to add this thing that it doesn't matter that they do have a website or not. Na, they have to initiate from a small page. Like there is an option on Facebook na to create your page. They have to start from there, and they can be grown because there are number of groups which you can join easily there. If we want to target the audience, then I would like to prefer TikTok and Instagram. Or if I talk about like sharing it more on the same platform, then I would like to prefer Facebook is the best one, where I have started and I have grown gradually. So I would like to prefer this thing, na? And people are stuck that they don't have website and they have to purchase the domain, and it really costs to them, they can't afford it. So what would you like to say about it?
everything that you just said. Website only comes after when they start making money, when they're very clear on what they're offering, when they're very clear on their target audience, when they're very clear about having different type of incomes. Even if they're selling products, they can register on Shopify. They can sell it through Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. But what you said about Facebook page, also Facebook profile, this is something that's for free. And
Hmm.
you guys really don't need a website. The moment they start, they can start with a regular Facebook account, Instagram, Facebook page, TikTok, just to pick whatever the platform. My only suggestion is to start with the platform which they already know how to use, right? Because as a
Hmm.
user, you know your way around the platform. You don't have to learn any new additional skills for the start. This is going to come as your business or brand
Hmm.
develops. So basically what they need is a piece of paper to understand what they are offering. Okay, what is going to be my offer? Like whatever the offer is, I cannot say now whatever top of my mind. I'm going to choose one platform. I'm going to stick to that platform until I start making money. Once I start making money, then I can maybe run some small ad. Maybe then who knows what's gonna happen. But they don't need a website to start. They just need time, will, one social platform, and content planner, like 30, 60, 90 days of content of what they're gonna post, just to see what's going to be the feedback from the market. And from there, they're gonna know. Otherwise, it's just like there's no other way except to start.
I hope, Dada, that we have exaggerated and elaborated number of the points, and our audience would be satisfied by your answers or discussions to just elaborate it in very details as per your expertise or qualifications. That's remarkable. So now I would like to hear about your work, that the services which you provide. So you may just have an open call to the audience, the services you provide.
Well, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I'm going to invite anybody who is with us, who is watching. Just follow me on LinkedIn, Neda Želeva. Currently, we are launching educations for personal branding with the use of ChatGPT. This is something that we use my coaching model, and my colleague Liliana Milanovic, she's creating these prompts. The idea is that for everybody who is starting their brand, just to start it with much, much bigger clarity. And I'm really on a mission to empower everybody and anybody who wants to learn how to make money from what they already know. Or how I like to, like on my LinkedIn, like this cover, it is from learner to earner, because we have so much knowledge within us, and my
Hmm.
mission is to help people to teach them how to monetize their knowledge. Follow me on LinkedIn. That's where my content is in English, and where actually all this is, where they can see more details about my work.
Fantastic. They would be really glad to join you because of your expertise or qualifications. You know very well about it because it's all about branding and clarity, especially for women. So I hope that they would join, and I would like you on my platform to provide your services relevant to it if there is, if it's feasible to you.
Of course, yeah, of course. Why not? It's always great to be part of a bigger network, and we are actually taking our project worldwide. So
Hmm.
I will be happy. Actually, we can talk the details a bit afterwards. But thank you so much for
We would
including me.
design soon. I would like to discuss further relevant to it. So it's all about mutual understanding or passion. We may design something. So it could be also fruitful for our audience to join us for short courses or seminars if it's
Amazing,
convenient.
amazing. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, okay, dear. Take care. And audience, I hope that you would be satisfied after this live because we have elaborated number of things, especially relevant to women as she survives and the solutions and the platforms which we elaborated along with the discussion or the details. So I hope it would be really fruitful to you. Okay, dear Neda Želeva. Take care.
Thank you very much for having me and inviting me.
See you
Have a
soon.
great day.
Oh, okay, bye.
Bye bye.